welcome to the Rebellious Goat Dad channel. My name is, I go by Coop, by the way. Just remember chicken coop. It's not that hard. You'll probably hear my chickens later or my goats going off. Today, for my first video, I decided let's do an install. I have a set of Biltwell bars here. I also have a set of Vans Colt grips I put on. These bars do not require any brake extensions, nor do they require anything else. You can install these, okay? I'm going to try to show you the way that you can do it, and hopefully you just get to see the process a little bit and see if it's something you want to tackle, or maybe you want to drop it off with a buddy that's more knowledgeable, or maybe if you might even want to look into a shop. The hardest part is going to be drilling a dowel pin for these controls. So let's get started. Okay guys, to get started on this, we're going to need a few tools. I have a 6mm and a 5mm Allen key. Yes, millimeter. Don't strip out your screws. Millimeter, not standard. Okay? An extension does help, and a ratchet of some sort. This is a self-centering doweling jig. 12 to 15 bucks at Harbor Freight. You're gonna need this if you do not have a drill press or a vise, some way to lock it down. This right here is gonna help you to go. Next, you're probably gonna need this after you drill this, especially if you don't use a drill press. There's probably gonna be some burrs, standard file or a bastard file. Just knock the burrs off. As well as you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver to take off the controls, a tape measure to center your bars, to make sure your bars are centered when they're mounted. I started trying to take the stock hand grips off with these so I could save them. It is a pain. You'll see in here I give up. I highly recommend going with a utility knife, but you can still use this to pry up the side of it so you can get it started, so that you don't end up trying to cut into your throttle barrel. Next today we also used a tape and some pin. You do not need this. Painter's tape is fine. All we're going to do is measure where those locating holes need to be, put a piece of tape there, measure it out, and then mark a line so that when we slide the doweling jig over it, we can look through it and see what we have. As well, you're also going to need a drill bit, 3/16 to 1/4 of an inch, a drill obviously to drill it. Alright guys, so now after having told you all that and looking like an idiot in front of my whole neighborhood, let's get started on this. Let's get it going. Let's get comfortable on this bike so we can go out, we can see some stuff together. I live in the North Georgia mountains. Beautiful roads, tons of mountains. There's tons to see up here. I want you to get out on your bike. I want you to go around, start visiting some places, and also I want you to look around at places you want to ride to see if there's antique shops, breweries, you know, local small town historical things that you can go through and you can see for, you know, cheap or no money at all. Sometimes they'll let you just walk in and you can go have something to do on your day off. You know, you can make a plan, you can go for a ride, and if that's not you and you just want to get it on your bike and ride, trust me, that's perfectly fine. We all do it all the time. Sometimes that's what you need to do to just get rid of the anxiety of the world and just ride away the day. Flip the visor up just a little bit, get a little wind in your face. I'm all about it. So let's get started, guys. Alright, so to begin, guys, we're going to be starting with a 5mm hex key, and we're going to first start off by removing the speedometer and gear cluster and all of that. 5mm right ahead, right here on top. Now, once you have these two 5mm screws removed, there is a small clip underneath that just slides it off front to back. It holds the wire in place and set it out of the way. Next, we're going to use the same 5mm key to remove the mirrors on the left side and the mirror brake assembly on the right side. Okay guys, next I'm going to take these hand grips off. As you can see here, I did purchase the Vans Colt grips. These things they just feel really nice. They have a lot more tread, I guess you would say, over the stock grips. Get started on that. To start off, I'm going to try. This is my plan of attack. This is a panel clip remover tool, and I have your standard flathead screwdriver. So we'll see if we can get these off without, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these. And just make this a lot easier on myself. I'm gonna try not to mess up the throttle control while I'm at it. Just a little bit of cut. And there we go. It's off. Not too hard on that part. That was a lot simpler. There is, I think, one Phillips head screw underneath here. So I'm going to loosen that up. None of that. This should want to separate. Oh, there is one more over here on this side. And the whole thing is moving now. I just need to get it. Yep, there we go. So now that whole assembly, we don't need to take it completely apart. I'm going to put the other screw slightly back in this side just so we don't lose it. Just a few threads. And now that whole assembly there will come off. Now we're going to do the same to this side. As you see, the wiring is hooked up to the levers. I just have it hanging here. Don't pull down, try to rip it off or anything crazy like that. There is a little pinhole in the bar that captures all this, and just need it to be able to slide back and forth. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this off just to facilitate sliding those off. No need to go all caveman on it, just enough. There we go. 2 grips off. This whole assembly is ready to come off. This whole assembly is ready to come off. Alright, so now we're going to remove these 6mm Allen keyed bolts here. Okay, and I'm about to make this so much faster for myself. More power. Okay, guys, I'm back. So I got my clip removal tool again. The wiring is pinned underneath the bar. I'll flip it over so I can show you here. Right here. And right here. Oh, there's a little, it's not Figured there'd be a hole there, but it's literally just a little catch there. So I do have some zip ties so we can tie the wiring back up after we're done here. Let's see. It looks like it should want to just slide back and off. Flathead screwdriver might be better for that. There we go. So doesn't look like there's anything else. Now I can move this left and right a lot, which gives me up a lot of free space. Now I can slide that off to the side. I'm going to run that one screw in. Hold that together for myself. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to slide this off, hold the clamshell together, tighten one of the screws to hold the whole assembly together. Here is the new bar. And I will have a link in the description of the bar. I'm just going to set that in there, and if it's in there tight enough, it kind of holds it decently well. But one of the things we can do before we can mount this is I have to make sure where are the holes. Now, there are two trains of thoughts. If you look inside here, you see this little pin right here. And that little pin is going to sit in that hole. Now there are guys that cut those off and guys that drill these. I'm going to be the guy that drills this. So one of the first things I need to do is I need to know about where that hole needs to be. So, simple matter. Grab your tape measure, one across, and it looks like we're at 5 5/16 the center of that hole. So we're gonna go with that. And it's the same, it should be the same on both sides. I'm gonna double check that real quick. Ah, here we got a discrepancy. So it's 5 5/16 on the right side of the bar. But on the left side of the bar, it looks like we're coming in right at 5 inches. That's something you're gonna wanna know. So left side of the bar, 5 inches. Right side of the bar, 5 5/16. So let me get you set up, get you moved. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna try to do to drill that out. Alright guys, so I'm back. I got some tape, blue painter's tape is what I was looking for. This is what I found. We're gonna make it work. So once again, we're at 5 inches, so I'm just gonna go roughly where that 5-inch mark is. Measure over my 5 inches. Put this somewhere towards the center of that. And I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to mark where 5 inches is. That's so that as I slide the jig over, when I get the doweling hole where I need it at, I'll see the blue line center it up in there. Now we're good to go. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side at 5 5/16 of an inch. lined up about where it needs to be. Come across. I messed that up just a little bit there, but it's okay. 5/16 right there. Now, to those of you guys who have a bench vise, I would recommend you do this in that. If you have a drill press, even better. I do not, and I don't have a vise as well, so we're going to do this on the bike to hold it where we need it to be while we drill it. So let's get to that. Hole in the center there. See, now I want to make sure this is on the bottom of the bar, so I'm gonna look down. When we raise that up, I believe that's gonna be right where it needs to be. Maybe like that, and I'm gonna tighten it up right there. Alright guys, so I was able to find the pin I'm gonna need, my drill bit that I'm gonna need. So we're gonna get this started. So I'm looking down to here, I'm centered up on my line. I'm going to screw this in where it needs to go till it bottoms out. And then we're going to drill. Alright guys, so the self-centering doweling jig from Harbor Freight did work. I did have to grab a file and clean up the burrs so it's nice and smooth on the bottom. Clean this off. Now let's start getting back, putting this thing back together so we can go and ride this thing. Alright, so first thing guys, I'm going to loosen these bars up so we can slide our controls on them. Go. Right side mount. And if you guys were wondering, the Milwaukee 3/8 inch ratcheting wrench, electric, I love it. I've had it for a little over 2 years now. And seriously, sometimes don't know how to live my life without it. Okay guys, so with the bar loose now, I'm going to grab my controls. Oop. Cardinal sin mistake. I tightened clamshells back up on the controls. So we're going to loosen those back up so we can get them on. No big deal. one here. This little bitty clip right here. That literally all it does is slide onto here. Hold your wires in there. And we'll put these two bolts back in. Tighten the coaster down. Alright guys, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to try to get these grips on. So, something very simple. I got a little avocado spray and a rag. I want to see if that'll help them slide on. Again, don't forget, 2 different sizes. This one's obviously for the throttle barrel, and that one's for your clutch hand. Alright, let's go with that. Alright, so there we go guys. The bars are on, the grips are on. Got it. With the Corbin Solo Gunfighter seat. Alright.